Go ahead, Shariff.
All right.
What's going on, everybody?
Bow.
Y'all know what time it is. It's the DB podcast.
We're back.
We're back. It's been a while. We know that.
Sheesh.
We've been working on some things. We got a lot that's coming your way. But for right now, this is what we got going on today, man.
I hope you out, bro. Got you. Yo, teamwork this time. You feel me? Teamwork.
Yo,
Feel me?
today we got
Feel me?
NCAA athletes getting paid and the different options for basketball players. And when I mean different options, we're talking about different avenues that basketball players can go down instead of being NCAA athletes. And that's huge. But for the start of this, because we're going to get into that a little later.
Yes,
but
sir.
for the start of this, we're going to talk about college athletes getting paid. This went into effect at the end of last month, June 24th, I believe. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of student athletes, allowing them to be able to receive compensation from what they call the NIL. Now, that is name, image, and likeness. Please do not think that colleges are going to pay their student athletes. That's not what this is. And this episode is really to break that down and to clarify a couple of things, because people assume that now all of a sudden athletes are about to start getting big bucks from colleges, which I mean was probably going on anyway. But that's not what this is about. So we just wanted to get in that a little bit. But before we dissect it, I just wanted to get your thoughts on what you think this is and how much it means.
I was gonna say, it's huge. It is a big turning point. You know what I mean? Especially because a lot of players that have had unfair judgments being passed upon them, take into consideration that this is happening now.
Yeah.
But I think that certain things have to be, not taken lightly. Because at the end of the day, there was a reason why the NCAA had it the way it was, right?
Yeah,
and so, I think that one risk that I see that predominantly, looms over this situation, is the same risk that you see in, pro sports, and the reason why they have a cap,
Right.
Because at the end of the day, your area, your city is more likable to come out to, if you have, the networking and the environment of New York City, of Los Angeles, and Miami, you know what I mean? And it's like, if you're telling athletes that when they go to college, they could be paid.
Yeah.
That means that it's the only way. Whatever they decide to do, since they only can be paid for their name, image, and likeness, whatever they're going to decide to do is going to be their main source of income.
Right.
So it was going to be a main, consideration factor. If I'm a YouTuber, you know what I mean, and I got to choose between UCLA and Alabama.
Right.
Gonna be a huge factor. If I'm working on computers and stuff like that, I do computer IT, and I want to do that. You know what I mean, and that's in going to Silicon Valley. You know what I'm saying? So it's
like
it's
the Southwest or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Southeast.
And then you can't cap that. You know what I mean? Like, you could cap the salary that players in the pro sports get.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, that's gonna be a major impact because that's their primary source of funds.
Right.
But you can't cap the possibilities a person can get with their name, image, and likeness.
Right.
So there's no way to control that.
Right.
So, there's definitely gonna be, some type of discrimination in the players that go to certain places because of that not happening. So I want to we just got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the whole entirety of it, the idea of it is great though, because it gives, athletes opportunity to make money. You know what I mean? There's hundreds of college students doing the same, hundreds of thousands of college students doing the same thing.
Same thing.
And
they can benefit off of it.
Like, if you're making me feel like it's a punishment to play the sport that I love.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why am I being punished for something that I love to do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But like I said, there's reasons why they had it like that. But
and some people do make it seem like that's the case, where you kind of feel like you're getting punished for playing the sport, because they'll look at you and be like, well, you're a student athlete. You're getting scholarship money. You're getting tuition paid for. A lot of people assume that because you are a student athlete, you're going to school for free.
Yeah,
and some people believe that it's 100% for free. You know what I mean? And in our case, me and you, and even in Arbo, who's sitting back there, shout out to Arbo, we not going to school for free.
Nah.
We got the same student loans that other our fellow college mates have as well. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's just us. This all across the board. There are still other student athletes out there who had to take out loans. Just because they're playing a sport doesn't necessarily mean that schooling is 100% paid for, or even paid for that matter. There's walk-ons, preferred walk-ons. You know, there's really just different levels when it comes to being a student athlete. And then there are a lot more restrictions because of the sport that they play. You know, you can't always take the classes that you want because of conflicts with schedule. And then, or campuses. You know, there were a lot of classes that we couldn't take because it was on the city campus, and we got practice. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of restrictions that come with being a student athlete. So for this, which I think makes sense, you know, name, image, likeness. It makes sense to me that you can profit off of this. You know, I'm not really an advocate for saying that colleges should pay their student athletes to play. That's pay to play, by the way. But for name, image, and likeness, that makes sense to me. Now you can do what you want to do on social media. You know what I'm saying? YouTube or Instagram, whatever the case is, your influence that you have. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I will say, just playing devil's advocate again. Another impact that can have that's negative, you know what I'm saying, is how much focus and attention they're now giving to school. Right. You know, because we already know that athletes go into school thinking that they're football player first, basketball player first, you know, athlete, academic second. You know, so all right, so they're already putting academic in the back seat when it comes to the sport that they're playing. Now you're going to talk about the money that they're getting to support their lifestyle. Right. You know what I mean? So what's going to really be more priority? I know dang well myself that in those 4 years I was going to school, there was points where like, all right, I'm tired of just going to school. I want to make money. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm tired of doing
and we've all hit that at that point.
I'm trying to earn some income for myself. You know what I mean? I feel like you're watching a lot of your friends that didn't go to college, you know what I mean, making bread off of the technical trades that they learned, you know what I mean? Going to different places and getting different, you know? Yeah. But if for you, it's like you're sitting there and you feel like you're doing an investment. You're doing those 4 years to try and jump forward. Yeah, it's harder to think like that if you're making money even in those 4 years. Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
I might just say, you know what? At some point, like I might just don't need football or basketball or school. You know what I mean? School. I just go do my own business.
Whatever.
Continue on.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So you run that risk too. Yeah. You know.
And knowing that you're not going to play sports for that long anyway, especially in college, you know that the time for your career is ticking. And the clock's going to hit zero at some point in time within these next couple of years. Whether it be next year, the next 2 years, next 3 years. You know, it's coming to an end. So it's like, okay, after this, where am I heading now? And especially if you've made sports your main focus on life, you're sitting here like, okay, well, when the game is all said and done, what's next for me? You know, if I'm out here getting paid off of my name, image, and likeness now, then okay, that may start creating some different opportunities for me to dabble into when the time comes for me to get out of school. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I really like about this. Athletes can get endorsement deals, you know? And you know, with that being said, in that same vein, there are restrictions with that as well. You know, so it's not like now that they get name, image, and likeness, people are just going to start throwing money at them. You know, there's certain restrictions and guidelines that are in place, and it varies from state to state. You know, so and then also some states like I think it's Texas, Alabama, Tennessee, or something like that, where they have no state tax. I think it is, or whatever it is. So you're going to get bread more for going to those states, and you get endorsement deals in those states, you know. So it really is different for everywhere. Like this is a really complex thing that's going on. So it's not just, oh, look at that, student athletes are getting paid. You know, they already don't do anything. They already don't go to class. They all live in luxury, got their own facilities and stuff like that. But there's a hard bargain when it comes to playing college sports.
100%.
You know, like it's not all fun and games because of the stuff that you see on TV. There's a lot of hard work that's being put in and day out, year round. 100%. You know, not just for the games that you watch on TV, but off season, summer. You know, a lot of people out there enjoying it. You got your student athletes going to work. They're still at the school, at the facilities, making sure that, you know, they don't lose a step, you know, for when the season comes, because like I said, the time is ticking in this game and you may not always be able to play for as long as you would like to, you know. So I think this is definitely something that was needed. You know, it sucks that it's this late because like you brought up, there are some athletes who, you know, kind of got the back. Well, they suffered really because
So Reggie Bush don't even got his Heisman.
He don't even got the Heisman. He had to give it back. For those who don't know, a running back that went to USC years ago.
Arguably the best college football running back ever.
Yeah, really. I think that was back in like 2005 or something like that. He had to give his Heisman Trophy back, the most prestigious award in college football, because of allegations or investigations that his family received. Money for him to play at USC.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Can they really tell you to give it back?
What, the Heisman?
I mean, let's really talk about it. I got the Heisman in my crib. Y'all come to me and be like, "Yo, give it back."
Yo, but see, the thing is, the Heisman.
You gonna call the cops on me?
Like, that's his house right there. The Heisman is on the top mantle in his bedroom.
Come on, son,
it's OD. It's OD.
I don't understand how they took it from him, bro. There's no way. If you gave me a Heisman, bro, I'm not. It's not leaving my hands till I die.
And the thing is, that's just a reflection on his on field play. You know what I mean? Like, it's
literally.
It's not because of anything that happened behind closed doors.
The money I made didn't have nothing to do with how much I was frying these
right.
Like,
that ain't,
you know what I'm saying?
That ain't make me run any faster or any slower. But that's crazy. And getting into that, because as the status of amateur is what you are as an NCAA athlete, you couldn't even receive payment of any kind. They had it set to where somebody couldn't even pay for your meal. Like if it was like a booster or an alumni or something like that from a school, if they paid for your meal somewhere, they could consider that as a violation against your amateurism.
I don't know if you guys remember when we were filling out our amateurism forms before our freshman years, and they had those questions.
I don't even remember that. Nah.
They had those questions. They were like, did anybody give you any form of any form of money when you were going through the recruiting process and the third? And I'm looking through the questions, and those applications you just fill out, and man, if I answered yes on this, it would definitely be a problem. Like they would definitely find something wrong with me on this, But I mean, honestly, like I said, it's a great thing for an opportunity for the kids that are playing college sports. But I just think, okay, but how is it going to be managed? How is it going to be controlled?
Right.
Because, bro, money brings greed.
Yeah.
Money brings greed, and we want to keep. We want to keep it because at the end of the day, as much as they are older people, they are young adults. Yeah, they're still kids. You know what I mean? We're still kids.
We're still kids. Really.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're definitely still kids.
Yeah.
And you want to keep the sport pure for them.
Exactly.
Because already we were talking about it earlier with the way that they're paying kids in low key right now. Some places.
Yeah. On the back end, they're definitely getting some bread.
And even that already has caused a lot. Throughout the NCAA. I forgot what movie there was. There was a movie that came out on Netflix. I think was it.
Amateur. Yep.
And the perfect example
with Tyreek from Powell. He was a star in that one. Yeah.
It's like money brings greed. And we don't want people to have to suffer, any more than just to play the sport that they love.
Exactly. Exactly. But this is I think is definitely vital, for them, like because that brings an income, and it's literally something as simple as video games. NCAA sports period. Whether it's basketball or football, they stopped making the games for a couple of years. And then even when they had the games, no names were on the back of jerseys, because of that amateurism title that they had. Because if you put the name on the back of that jersey in a video game, then that's their representation. So they would have
NCAA.
It was just like number whatever. You know what I mean? So it was really because of that. So
because you had to pay. It's because you have to pay some. You have to compensate someone to use the name.
Right. Exactly. So
but they say they come out with a new NCAA, so that means the names are gonna be on the back.
Right. You know what I mean? So the players are gonna get that bread from me. I'm not gonna hold you. I think Pace is on NCAA. So
wait, what?
I think so. I know Jesse was talked about it a little bit. So
Jesse,
yeah, but yeah, with NCAA, that's right. That's why they didn't have the names and stuff on the back of their jersey. So yeah, like this is definitely something that I think that they needed. Also, when it comes to endorsement deals and stuff like that, there's also restrictions when it comes to that because in certain states, if you have an endorsement deal offer from a brand that conflicts with what your school is, you can't sign that endorsement deal. So for an example,
they should do that for politics.
You know what I'm saying? So for example, if you went to Oregon, if you were a student athlete at Oregon, we know that Oregon is pretty much Nike headquarters. So if Adidas came offer you a deal You can't take that because that conflicts with the fact that Oregon has that deal with Nike. So it's not just money just being thrown around now just because this went into effect, which I don't think it goes into effect until probably sometime later down the line, maybe next year or the year after that. I think I'm not sure, but there's a lot of moving parts to it. There's a lot of different things that that are taken into account when it comes to this. So don't just think that colleges are playing athletes, and don't think that now all of a sudden your roommate or your sweet mate is just about to start walking in with just racks of bread, just because they got this pass.
Yo, I just think it's crazy how, think about a school like Duke, for instance, when Zion and RJ, all of them were there.
Yeah.
You know how many people were coming in to see them play?
Yeah.
How much their sales were increasing because of that, and they couldn't touch a single dollar of that. Bro, people were buying their jerseys after the game,
like
Williamson
crazy
on the back of the jersey, and they couldn't touch any of that money. So, I mean,
That's a fact.
I'm happy for them. I'm happy to see, because those big names, they need that money,
need that.
man. They need to get some sort of recognition for their play.
Yep.
I mean, Alabama. Teams like that are just filling out stadiums. So.
Let's not also forget that, especially in basketball. I mean, like, if we want to talk about the other sports, I mean, fine. I can hear football players saying that, like baseball players saying that, but especially basketball. Not even baseball either. Baseball is one of them too. There have been a lot of avenues created, especially in the recent times, for you to want, if you want it to be the bread, if you want money, if you're not worried about education, you're worried about making a paycheck, there's avenues for that now. Now, there's not that many. The general avenue is still college ball.
Right.
So I understand why the majority would be worried.
Right.
But there are avenues for you. So if you don't want to go to school and you want to just make money, if money is what you're worried about, then I feel like college ball wasn't for you. Maybe pro amateur ball is, you know what I mean? Some type of amateur situation.
A lot of basketball players go overseas.
Hopefully that avenue grows a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So people don't have to go to college and then be like, hey, I want to make money too. So now you have to make that decision. Because at the end of the day, bro, I really think that that's a huge, like, we have that issue with even athletes that go to school, right? Like, we always talking about staying the 2 years or the 1 year or getting your degree, And some people in a more tactical mindset says, listen, like, your football career, you could leave your sophomore year and go in and get injured in a year and you didn't get your degree or you didn't make the millions you wanted.
Right.
So I could, like, going to school isn't just for the sport.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're bringing back what I was saying before about school taking a back seat. Like, these people are already not going to school to go to school.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go to school and make money too. Like, it's going to be the last thing on their mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's what they're there for.
Right.
The pure reason, like, it wasn't sport and then school.
Right.
The school was made first and then the sport.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, there has to be some type of balance to it, because like you're saying, because bro, they bring in a lot of money. Yes, they do.
Billions of dollars.
They do.
Billions.
So imagine a college student taking in the revenue of what they should.
Right.
Like, okay, even though that would be amazing, that would be great, but are they going to be focused on being a college student? No.
Right. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's an important point to bring up. You know what I mean? Because you honestly bring it up the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's huge because at the end of the day, we are really supposed to be there for the education, and the sports was supposed to be that added benefit. That one can help us for the education, help pay for the education, and then two, give us another option for playing it professionally, getting paid for that. But ultimately, what we are supposed to be there for is the academics, the education. And I think that's why I'm going to keep bringing this up. I think that's why I believe it's good that it's not pay to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
think so too.
I honestly don't think that they should be getting paid to play, from the institution, right? And truth be told, I mean,
No, that's definitely extreme. Pay to pay is extreme.
You know what I mean? That's and that does take away the title of amateurism because at the end of the day, that's what you are.
You're going to work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's literally what separates you from being a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you are an amateur. You are there for education as well, but now you do bring a good point. And then just like you said, greed starts to set in, and it becomes a real political. And it does take away the purity of not only the sport, but of the individual. You know what I mean?
We're talking about how right now the restriction is there where, let's say, if you're going to Oregon and you get an Adidas deal, that you can't accept it. listen, man, I'm not gonna lie. Let's say the next Michael Jordan is going to Oregon, and on the armor says, listen, we about to go all in, all in and out. And give him like a something $1 billion. Oh my gosh, the greatest amount of money ever offered to a college athlete. Yeah. You think he's staying on Oregon, or you think that he's taking the bread and saying, "Yo, I'll put my name in the transfer portal"?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want that type of thing happening.
To go to a school like Louisville or something like that.
Just because he wanted the bread. You know what I mean? You don't want that happening in NCAA because then it's not college ball no more.
No, it's not.
It's professional ball.
It's not.
You know? And there's an innocence to it. Like this kid's just going to school just to play ball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make your
just
bread,
to have that opportunity.
Yeah. I have no problem with them making their YouTube, making their YouTube things and, making that money. But I think there's definitely got to be some type of restrictions to it. Yeah. You can't be having kids really making, because if you think about it, the amount of money they could possibly make is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
These dudes are superstars.
That's true.
That's true. You know what I mean?
Yep.
These dudes are superstars just held back. It's like a superstar with a muffle on his mouth until he goes pro. But he has to have some type of muffle because it's the same reason why we see some 18-year-olds go to the pros back when 18-year-olds were doing that.
Yep.
And not making
out of
it.
high school. Yep.
Yep. So how many times did you really see one of those high school dudes really make it in the league?
Yeah. Other than the ones that we know of, but that's once in a generational talent. You know what I'm saying? But nah, you absolutely right. You absolutely. I was gonna say something to your point. I lost my train of thought.
I'll be chatting.
And just as you're talking about that, Paul Feinbaum, who's he's very big in college sports, particularly college football. He was like, with this being passed, this is kind of maybe the start of the demise of the NCAA. You know what I'm saying? Because now there is just really so many different ways that players can get paid. You know what I mean? Even if it's not from the school directly, the education is going to get paid for, but they actually are starting to get money put in their pocket. So it's like, why am I going to go to school, when I can just do high school, build up my brand from there, and then go to college for 1 year just for the purpose of getting a sponsorship or an endorsement deal, or just to rack up a couple of bands just because.
I'm just thinking of imagine your school, like you're a college student that is big in fashion and you want to make fashion stuff, and you're trying to do that, and then the school that you want to go to, or the school that's recruiting you, the head coach knows one of the biggest fashion designer in the country. Hey, I'll put you on and get you this. He'll endorse you for this, and the third. Yo, I bet say that I'm going to that school just because of that.
Yeah, just because of that.
Just because of that.
Not that. Forget education. Forget major, minor, whatever.
I'm about to make bank.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
This will affect the recruiting. You know,
100% affect recruiting.
This right 100%. Here is affecting.
100%.
So that's also going to take away the competition of sports. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, one, you're gonna be on TV. Two, you're gonna be making bread.
Yep.
So it's like, Alabama's football program is like that. But you can start here for 4 years, and then also my man over here, he runs New Balance. You know what I mean? He got some,
especially in the social media world. There's this thing that always happen. I know my 2K players know this one. There's a scene that happens in 2K where I forgot who's speaking. I think it was Greg. He goes like, it's easy to be a superstar anywhere you go nowadays, just because of the social media and the news aspect that we have. Back in the day, in the 80s, you couldn't be Giannis in the Milwaukee. Giannis was not going to be what he is in Milwaukee right now. You know what I'm saying? But just because of how we see everything every day, it's like that. And the same thing goes right now. So, a player, we even see athletes right now not really worried about going to Bama. Because, listen, the dude's going to see me on ESPN regardless. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So, you're going to tell me I'm going to still be seen on TV. I'm going to still make that check because my coach knows this guy that can put me onto this. And what am I talking about school for? What am I talking about the business, the program for? I just want my name so I can go to the league but make bread while doing before going in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Simple as that.
Nah, it's crazy. It has to
be controlled.
Yeah.
It
has to. You know what I mean? You do have to put guidelines on this. You can't just have people out here running wild.
What I do like is the changes to be made. It wasn't like no internal thing. It wasn't no like private organization thing. They had to take it to Senate.
Yeah,
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't know that about
literally just got the notification.
Yeah.
Like
I was like, wow, they have to go to Senate to change this. But I like that. So there's some type of governmental solidification in this. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you can't just change this with a stroke of a pen.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I hope they do continue to tread cautiously, and we'll just Listen, man, get that chicken.
And like we said, this is really going to vary from state to state. You know, it's not just one broad umbrella on everything. It's really just going to be different everywhere you go. That being said, we can transition to the next topic that we're going to talk about, which is actually different options for basketball players. And I say basketball players because it's high value. A lot of kids pick up a basketball, and a lot of kids want to go to the NBA. And the rosters is really small, you know, compared to a lot of other sports. And before, it was just really NCAA, or even before that, you know, kids was coming straight out of high school. We know that. LeBron, Kobe, a couple of other players, I forget who. Then, when that really wasn't allowed anymore, it started going overseas. A lot of players were going overseas. But now, it's like they just have so much that they can do. You know, just so much at their disposal. It's really unreal.
I love it.
To the point
I love
where
it.
they don't even have to go to college. They don't even have to go through NCAA or anything like that.
I love it.
I'm gonna give you the rundown because I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know what? Let's reverse time a little bit. Go back like 4 or 5 years to when I'm in high school and I would have played basketball because this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm sure most of y'all know Overtime, right? But Overtime, the brand Overtime, has created a league called Overtime Elite. Some of the board of directors that's on it is Carmelo Anthony, Jay Williams, you know, the host, one of the analysts for ESPN. Jeff Bezos helped put this together. A lot of NBA players, like 25 of them. Devin Booker. Who else? Trey Young are some of the names that I know. Drake also helped put this together as well. And literally what this is, it's like, I want to say it's pretty much how IMG Academy is for high school athletes. This is what this is, but it's for those athletes that are in between. So it's like you're getting ready to leave high school or like, you know, or college, really. So it's not like you're in college and it's not like you're in high school, but you receive pay, education, and development, right? So it's a league, literally a league, and the players are guaranteed. Every player in the league, I think it's like 24 to 30 players.
Stop it.
24 to 30 players, bro. Every last one of them are guaranteed $100K. Guaranteed. Starting salary is $100K.
But you know how nice you have to probably be to be in that?
Yeah, because it's really a select few. 24 to 30. I got it here for you. It's I think you got to be a rising junior, a senior, or a postgraduate high school athlete. This is also extended globally, so it's not just the U.S.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
That's a lot of comp, bro. I'm not going to lie.
24 to 30, guaranteed $100K as starting salary. You get bonuses. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I guess it's like
If you win the chip or stuff.
incentives, you know, yeah. So you get bonuses, you get shares of equity in Overtime.
Nah.
Yeah. You get you get shares of equity in Overtime. You have you can get revenue from name, image, and likeness, just like college athletes. You can get sales of custom jerseys because this is a league. You can get bread off of trading cards, video games, and NFTs. For those who don't know, that's non-fungible tokens. Really like digital art, kind of digital content, really. They can sign direct sponsorships with sneaker companies. Literally. Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Under Armour, whatever. So they're getting all of that revenue.
When did the league start?
I'm not sure when. I got to get that info. I'm not sure when the league starts. But on top of that, I'm not done. Wait. On top of that.
Don't tell me to get a whip.
Yo. They might as well for $100K. On top of that, every player receives health care.
That's cold.
They receive disability insurance in the event that they have a career-threatening injury.
Yeah, so that $100K guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yo, guaranteed.
Discount double check.
Yo, yo, bro. As I'm saying, can we reverse time? Because I played the wrong sport. So
this will come in football eventually too. It's gonna come.
Yo, career. So in the event they have a career-threatening injury, torn ACL, that's usually the big one. Achilles is usually a big one for basketball. Things of that nature. They have disability insurance for that. Then I'm not done. Overtime will guarantee payment of up to $100,000 for tuition if they don't want to go pro. So after they serve their time in this league, if they decide that they want to actually go to school, get an education, they will pay for up to $100,000 in that. Yo, this is a new league. This is a new league.
Now, where's all the bread coming from, though?
It's 25 NBA players.
You see who's funding it?
Jeff Bezos.
Drake.
Yo, bro.
25
NBA players, bro.
Yo, Jeff Bezos is enough. That's all you gotta know.
Yo, bro.
Yo, I think you said Jeff Bezos. I was like, I forgot.
Bro.
Why am I asking that?
Then,
boy, about to go to space next week.
On top of he said, I'm gonna just start a league while I'm at it. Yo. Then on top of that, they will receive courses in life skills, financial literacy, media training, advocacy of sports, and business of basketball.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I love about it. I think that's the most about that. You know, because developing young men, that's what you gotta do.
Bro, I promise you, I love it so much too, because every single one of these options that are being offered to these athletes, bro, listen to the things that they have for that, and the amount of people that are being. Everyone gonna put their name.
Yeah.
So that means if you make it, you have a pretty good chance of being pro at basketball.
You're set.
So, all right, it makes sense. Don't go to school. Go ahead. Do your thing. Go out, come out of there and go pro, But it's like, if you don't make it, and it's not like this is the only option.
Yeah.
But there's multiple other options that are just as competitive. Right. Going overseas is not no simple thing.
Yeah.
You just go overseas. People go overseas and never come back.
Yeah.
In terms of basketball.
Right.
Like, you have to be a next breed type of person to not go through the college 4 years and try to become a pro throughout, what I mean, just regular. So if you're that breed and you make it to that point, then yes, by all means, please continue to shoot your shot. And that's what I like about it. That's why I say I love it, because it's going to filter out the best of the best between the people who still need to develop, still need to work on their craft and be like, listen, basketball might not be the only option for you.
Right.
If you're making it in that league, bro, your basketball could be your only option, bro.
Literally.
Go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, globally, you're 25 to 35 people.
25 to 35.
Basketball's your only option. Go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Knowing that you'll get all of this as well.
All that too.
Because they're going to set you up with life skills that you need. And then also shares in equity of overtime. $100K, health insurance, disability insurance.
Now, I'm not going to lie. Even with all those things, a kid can screw all that up.
No, yeah, most definitely. But you would really need to be trying to screw it up in order for that. Like, you would literally have to sit there and beg to screw this up for an opportunity. Because I am 100% sure that NBA players and professional players will be going in and attending this. Because it's all going to be in Atlanta. They are living, learning, and playing in Atlanta. I should say Georgia. I'm not sure if it's directly in Atlanta, but literally, you're just in one spot, and you're having all. It's like you're going away to school pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's really just basketball oriented with a couple of things on the side. Now I'm not done. That's one option. You got the overseas, like he said, which is intricate. I didn't get into all of that because I really just don't know how that works.
That's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I need to talk to a couple of people.
But it's like a whole different. I feel like it's a whole different branch of leagues in its own.
Right. Yeah, that's facts. So even if you don't want to do NCAA, you didn't make overtime elite, you don't want to go overseas, you have the NBA G League, right? So the NBA G League now has what they call select contracts. And how this works is high school players who don't declare for the NBA draft. You have to be at least 18 years old. You can't be selected, like you can't put your name in the draft. Obviously, I just said that. But you can sign a select contract and play in the G League. The G League season is 5 months. Out of those 5 months, it's a 5-month season. You can earn up to $125,000 for those 5 months. That's what that contract is. And like Overtime Elite in the NBA G League, they do have options to where you can receive, well, I should say opportunities to where you can receive development, obviously, life skills and mentorship, academic scholarship for those who want to pursue a higher education after their playing days. So you still have the option to go to school. And in the G League, you can sign two-way contracts as well, to where you are playing for because the G League is like a minor league for the NBA. So all of those NBA teams have a G League team. So you can play whatever G League team you're on, you can play on the NBA team on a two-way contract. So you have that, available and at your disposal. But $125,000 for 5 months, 18 years old.
That situation is a little bit less guaranteed though, because it's up to 125. So
Nah.
It's guaranteed 125.
I think this is like minimum.
Oh snap!
I think. Don't quote me, but I do believe that. I think this is minimum. Or it might be because it's a contract. That might be with incentives and.
Nah, but there's definitely minimums
like
though. There's
minimums. There are minimums.
It might be 120.
So you have this. You got multiple options, and I just wanted to talk about that because it was just astonishing to me because I'm like, wow,
football gonna get it too.
But it's much harder.
Yeah. I think what football is gonna end up doing is similar to the overtime thing, but yeah, man. I mean, I see that overtime thing happening in football.
Oh yeah.
You already see post grad schooling happening. People going to post grad schooling, and you have IMG Academy too. Yep. Which is kind of like a post grad in itself, but you can end up going this as middle school.
Yeah.
So it's like, and if I feel like that is just that time period. Like football, you just like it's just not possible for an 18-year-old to go play in that.
Bro, yeah, no, not
it's
at
just
all.
Not possible.
It's not even possible for you to really. Well, I mean, you can on a college level, but it really depends where.
Oh, college, but college.
Yeah, it depends where too.
But I honestly think that if you create a situation where it's like an academy between that 18 to 22 range,
right,
where it's like a professional situation, I think that even sets it up better to be able to be a pro coming into football. And it would benefit football players a lot more because football career span is much shorter.
Much shorter.
It's like you get to get paid throughout that time period too, going in.
Give you a chance to really start learning about investments, saving your money, putting yourself in a better financial situation for you and your family.
But you see that I see it happening, bro, because I see I see the continual interest in younger athletes in football continuing to grow. Like the way that people are kind of a little bit more obsessed about high school athletes today when it comes to football, they weren't when we were, I'll say when we were playing. But when we were playing, it was growing. Yeah. You see guys like, now look at the Elite 11, bro. Like, that's like the creme de la creme of quarterback. Like, if you're a quarterback, high school quarterback, you're thinking, like, that's where I need to go.
That's where I got to be there. Elite 11. I mean?
Like,
I tried to get there.
Like, you feel like you're a pro at that point. I'm not even
honestly.
You feel like a pro at that point. Yeah. If you're part of the Elite 11.
How you do.
So it's like,
you get nationally ranked. You got offers. You got colleges there. You know what I'm saying? The cameras is everywhere. You're getting interviewed like crazy.
And you see kids are already going across countries to go to play high school ball in a specific place. Kids are already doing it.
They pick up and move just for the fact that it puts them in a better position in order to get to the league.
So imagine if you said you were paying for it.
They'll go. Yeah, nah,
that'll happen. You see what happened to the Tight End University, bro. Perfect example. Of something
TEU.
That could happen.
Yeah, true.
But for younger players, so at a global stage. Yeah. All right, I'm done chatting, bro.
Nah, but that's good. That's good. A great take because I do believe that people need to know about that, be informed on it. But I really just wanted to share this because I'm like, people need to. This may be somebody that you think could potentially be involved or something like this.
They better be nice.
They better be nice, and even if they not right now, start working on it. Because you feel me? Because that is a great opportunity. You know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, I had to share this because I'm sure a lot of people don't know about it.
I did.
And a lot of known people have invested in it. So I just thought that there was something that people need to be informed on. But that concludes this episode. This will be the last one of this season. We got good stuff coming for y'all. Y'all stay tuned because the network is on the way. The network is on the way.
On the way, you heard it.
On the way.
You're not ready.
You know what I mean? But in the
Y'all
meantime,
boy ready? Y'all ain't ready.
In the meantime, tune into this one. Tune into the ones that we drop. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We on Pandora. Wherever you get podcasts, that's where we at. You can find us there. So tune in. We on IG at _DB_podcast. We're on YouTube, like I said, at DB on TV. So check us out, man. Get in tune with what we talking about.
And don't